With Secure Alpha, United Victor.
November India 8 Alpha, KC9VKV, go ahead.
India Alpha Station?
Victor.
Yes, sir. November India 8 Alpha, NI8A. My name is Bob, Columbia, South Carolina. Go ahead.
Roger, roger. Now, let me see. Come back and talk to me for just a minute. I'm going to see if I got any better copy on one of the SDRs.
Okay, well, we'll see.
On one of the SDRs.
I didn't have any better copy except on my local receiver, and I'm copying you about 2 or 3 dB above my noise level. Roger.
Okay, I'm putting out quite a bit of power here. It's pretty close to legal limit. What are you getting me on, sir?
Right now I'm copying you. That last transmission you were 15 over. Mother Nature is doing a little, ebb and flow there. Roger.
Okay, well then we'll keep it short. And what are you running for a rig up there, sir? And what's your name?
My name here is Jim Juliet India Mike, and the call sign is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, and our radio is an older Yaesu FT990, about a 35-year-old radio, but it's pretty highly modified, coming and going. Roger, roger.
Okay, I got a copy on that. Let's see, what do I got going here? I guess I'm peaking about, I don't know, 500 watts, maybe. Let's see, that's what is that one? I don't know. I don't get anything on that. I don't know why I don't. Something's not right there on the AT2K, but it seems to be doing the rest of the job on the rest of this thing. How do you like that Yahoo for 35 years?
Oh, my radio?
Yeah, that's been 35 years for you?
No. I just the last 3 years. My Elmer, well, I guess about 4 years ago, my Elmer decided to challenge me to get my general class license. I, up until that point, was technician and enjoying it, building all kinds of 70-centimeter and 2-meter Yagi antennas and conquering the world at the 400-mile mark, all kinds of stuff. And he wanted me to get into HF, and so he did say, hey, take this Yaesu 990 radio and set it on your radio table and look at it, and look at it, and look at it till you decide that you're going to take your general class license. And I said, well, I'll be glad to take it and look at it. And I did, and I looked at it, and probably about 3 months of looking at it and then listening to it, and I decided, well, why not? So I did take about 3 weeks out of my life and took the QRZ page test, or tests. I think they have 3 or 4 of them, but I took all that stuff within 3 weeks about 100 times. So I knew what I was doing front and back, and I went and took my general class license, and the test I got, when I took my test, I had never heard of any of those questions. None of them, man. It was sitting down like first date with a young lady, you know. I said, my God, how can that be? I took these tests 100 times, and but I guess it was a fluke. And my instructor, examiner, said, well, you know, if you hadn't changed this one answer here, you would have passed. He said, you overthought it. I said, well, but you don't know the half of that story. So I did say, hey, I'm going to take the test again. So he gave me another test, and I went and took that test, and man, that was the test I should have got the first time. I knew every one of those answers inside out. It was like old home week. And so I did pass the test then, Roger.
Okay, I got a full copy on that. Well, I'm glad you did that, sir. They've changed them quite a bit, yeah. I don't know. When I was in the Navy, they said, once you put the answer down, never change it. There was one guy in class, he answered them all, Charlie. He passed. what they say, never change them. And I really find it hard when I change things, unless I'm absolutely sure. So where are you located up there in KC9 land? Go ahead.
We're just across the street from Louisville, Kentucky. I'm about 3 miles from downtown Louisville, just across the Ohio River in Indiana. Roger?
Yeah, I used to go through that on the way back to Illinois when I was younger. But now when we go up to Michigan, I'm a snowbird, by the way. When we go up there, we're taking 75 QSL.
Roger. Well, Louisville is blessed in that 3 interstates coincide right at Louisville. I-64, I-65, and I-71, and all those converge right on Louisville. Roger?
Yeah, that's about as I remember it, too. What do you got for an antenna? You're sounding good here. Go ahead.
Oh, this is just an inverted V at about 35 feet. Although we did pay particular attention to the SWR, and I have a rather unique tuning method. And the most important thing about a dipole antenna is to be able to get to the ends. The easier you can get to the ends, the more outstanding your SWR or lack of it is going to be. Now, my tuning procedure is on the ground side of the dipole. I use that for correcting my SWR. And on the high side of the dipole, I use that for bringing it on frequency. And I keep going back and forth till now I have 3 inverted V's for different bands, and they're all running about 1.01 to 1. Roger?
Well, you can't get much better than that, can you? Now, on the inverted V's, how high are you up off the ground on the lake? Go ahead.
Oh, just about 35 feet at the feed point.
And how far is the off the ground?
I'm sorry, we must have doubled. I'm about 35 feet at the feed point, Roger.
What about at the other end? How far do the ends come down?
Well, they taper down on the ends. They're about 18 feet on either side. It is a nice angle, you know, and I think the angle is what makes it more omnidirectional than if it were, you know, more horizontal as opposed to inverted V, Roger.
Could very well be. I've used these before, and I do like that, but that was when I was back in Illinois. Yeah, but by Illinois, you know, I was in Michigan, but it doesn't matter. I've always been partial to inverted V's. I'm looking into the MSET wires primarily because we're going up into an HOA, and that's going to be left up hanging up there. Go ahead.
Roger. Well, you know, you should invest in some number 22 gauge wire for your HOA, and they would have to have a magnifying glass or a telescope to be able to see it, Roger.
Yeah, that's good wire, RF Davis. Where do you get yours from?
I don't have that problem. I use just, matter of fact, I think it's galvanized clothesline is what I use, and I espouse the use of split bolts to make connections between dissimilar metals, and they do a great job. I've been running mine now for about 3 years, and I haven't had any trouble. You know, split bolts are what they use up on the power lines on those transformers, Roger.
Okay, that would be right, yeah. Another thing I found was this wire line restriction.
Well, I think we've about run out of conditions. I think I didn't copy you at all that time. You were right towards my noise level. So let me say 3s for now, and maybe we can get together next Friday. We'd be here provided the creeks don't rise. We usually run between 3:30 and 5 and do our air check recording, and then post it up on YouTube later on in a couple of days. And then you could go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, and that will take you to our Qso-Vlog page, and on that page you'll be looking for a session called My Group Aircheck 2119. Again, My Group Aircheck 2119. Roger? Roger, roger, sir. 3's that away. Have a good evening and a good afternoon, or vice versa, whichever comes first. 3's up towards New York. This is KC9VKV, and this is the Qso-Vlog program. If you got a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. KC9VKV.